Hi, good afternoon, teachers and classmates. Now we're going to present you our integrative project. It is called Implementation Plan for Marketing and Distribution in the Supply Chain of Belapel Skincare Company. This team is composed by Bañuelos Vázquez María Fernanda, Ortega DUEñEZ Jimena, TERAN Contreras María Fernanda, and me, Barraza VALDEZ, Cesar ARATH. Belapel Skincare Company is a company dedicated to sell and to produce its own skincare products. It was founded in 2020 by the student María Fernanda Terán Contreras with the mission to generate awareness in a zero waste life through the elaboration of vegan and natural skincare products, with the vision to be the company that understands better the needs of the customers in order to provide a really good appearance and to be friendly with the environment. In this project, distribution and marketing plan will be implemented in order to improve sales, to be efficient, and to have better processes and some other aspects. Okay, let's start with the commercial plan. A commercial plan is made of some steps that can improve production and sales in order to achieve goals. It has 5 steps. The number one is to create a SWOT analysis. You know, the strengths, for example, that the company only produces 100% vegan products, the weaknesses that the company doesn't have a lot of certifications, and the opportunities that the company can do an exportation, traits the pandemic of coronavirus. And then you need to establish the purposes or the objectives that the company has, and then to identify available means, the money that the company has, and the income that the company has, all the machinery that the company has. And then you can use a tool that can help you in the time and project management. For example, Gantt and Milestone Diagram. Here we have all the 4 phases of the supply chain, about raw material, production, packaging, and delivery of the product. We have the responsible, and here in green, we have the duration of every phase. And those black rhombuses, those are the milestone diagram. Those are going to show you only the date when every phase ends. For example, the phase number 1 ends on April the 6th. And then all the process is going to be repeated every week, and you can use it in the production, time, and project management. And the step number 5 is to analyze all the results every 4 months. If it is necessary, you can modify something in the process if it is necessary. Let's continue with the design of management indicator. A management indicator is an instrument that can help you to measure the performance of your business. With these 5 steps, you can create one. I'm going to create one with Belapel. Imagine that Belapel wants to know the percentage of people that buy something. First, we need the name. The name is sales efficiency. And then the information that we need. For example, we need the number of customers that made a purchase. In this case, is 91 people. And then the number of people that visited the company, but maybe they didn't buy nothing. In this case, 120 people. And then we need to determine the formula. In this case, is number of customers who made a purchase divided by number of people who visited the company, plus 100%. And then we need to do a glossary with the meanings of what we are using here. And then we need the interpretation, and we need to compare with other results. In this case, the number is 75.83%. It's a really good number, because if the number is close to 100, it's a good number. And you, if you want to improve this number, you can use any strategy that you want. And then we have the business relationships. Those are so important because those are going to help you to your company a lot. Then we're going to show you some steps if you want to negotiate with a company. First, you need to make a list of the suppliers that you want to negotiate. For example, here in Durango, there is the Droguería Sagrado Corazón. They sell natural products, and it is a really good supplier. And then you need to define objectives that you want to get of the negotiation. For example, to have a supplier that can have available products when you need it, to obtain a provider that can offer credit, to negotiate wholesale prices if it is possible. And then you can meet with the other company and talk about Belapel, for example, and then to promote the benefits and be always honest. It's very important to promote the strengths of the other company to your clients. And you can have other meetings to negotiate and to talk about the companies and everything. And then, but you need to make sure that all the agreements are in a legal document to make it valid. And that's it. And then we have the taxes. Each government tries to collect some taxes to be active and to use that money for health, education, security, and many other aspects. If you have a company, for example, Belapel is going to pay these taxes. For example, impuesto al valor agregado is very common to pay 16%. Yep, if the product has sugar, it's gasoline or other services. Impuestos sobre la renta, and those are for the employees, and the company has to pay 30%. The impuesto empresarial a tasa única, the company is going to pay 17.5%. Talking about foreign trade taxes, if the company is going to do an exportation or importation, they are going to pay these taxes. Impuesto general de importación, if the company is going to import a product, and it depends of the product. Impuesto al valor agregado, it's very common to pay 16%. Yes, depending on the product, if it has sugar or it is gasoline. ISAN, if the company is going to import a new car. And DTA, Derecho de Trámite Aduanero, you are going to pay this tax only for the use of the services of the customs. It's very common to pay a 2,000 or exempt.
Packaging. The packaging course talk about packaging, containers, and label. The primary container is the one that is in direct contact with the product. Belapel company use a primary container, a glass jar, for the products that are liquid. For example, hyaluronic acid, vitamin serum, and a contour. Next is the secondary packaging. This one protects the primary one, and it can be unitary or multiple. The unitary only protects one product, and this packaging must have a label with the information of the product. And the multiple packaging protects two or more products, and as well must have a label with the information of the product. Then is the label. The label must be in the product and in the packaging. The information that this label must have is name of the product, date of expire, origin country, weight, instructions for use, and conservation instructions. The next topic is distribution channel. Is the route that the product will take to be distributed to the final customer. In this case, Belapel company used two types of distribution channel. The first one is the direct channel. There is no intermediary between the company and the buyer. It's a direct sale. And the second one is the short channel. In this distribution channel is only one intermediary between the company and the buyer. Belapel company pay rent in a place that is called Kukuni Showroom, and this place sell Belapel's products to other kind of public, and this is the last distribution channel that the company use. The next topic is customs. They are in charge of all products that enter and leave the country. They are commonly located in A ports, sea ports, and borderlines. They are in charge to collect all the corresponding taxes for all products that enter to the country, and to verify if that products have the certification and healthy certification that the country requires. At the moment, Belapel company doesn't make international shipments, and they buy their supplies here in the city. But if they want to do an international shipment, they only need three requirements. The first one is a certification from COFEPRIS. The other one is certification from Secretaría de Salud. And the last one is via registered company. The next topic is tracking and delivery of goods. When Belapel company make a deliver, they have a record of the route that the deliverment will take. Also, they made a label for each product which contains the address, the name of the buyer, a cell phone number, and a brief description of the address. The delivery man should share his location in real time to the customer and also to the company. And each person must have access to this location all the time.
The attention to complaints and returns. Well, the objective of customer service is to attend, resolve, evaluate, and implement the complaint, suggestion, or opinion that the customers could have. In this case, Belapel Skincare has some operation policies. The first step is, well, the customer must take a complaint or suggestion within the first 7 after the first 7 days of receiving or acquiring a purchase. Then the complaint will be made by means of direct message in social networks. And after that, we have the registration of complaint or suggestion. The record must be filled in an Excel document with the data, the name of the customer, the name of the order, and the product that needs to be sold. Then we have the response time. If the complaint or suggestion proceeds, the response to the client should not exceed 3 working days. Once the complaint or suggestion has been detected, the company talk to the customer, to give him or her the best possible attention and offer him or her something in comparison if he or her had a bad experience. Trade agreement. Well, a commercial trade is an agreement established by 2 or more countries under the protection of the international law with the objective of improving their relation in economic terms and commercial exchange. In this case, to Belapel Skincare is an advantage that Mexico has 12 trade agreements with more than 46 different countries, since some of its inputs to obtain its final product are imported, and the advantage that the trade agreement bring to the company is because, the company can find products in an easier and a cheaper way in comparison to Mexico doesn't have any international treaties. Exportation. What is an exportation? Well, an export is basically any legitimate good or service that producing or issuing company, a company that is exporter, and send as merchandise to a third party that is importer for purchase or use. There are 2 types of export. The first one is the direct export. The direct export is when a company sells the product or the service directly to a customer in an international market. Then we have the indirect export. That is, this involves another company, an intermediary in its own country. Then the intermediary sells the product to the international market and assumes responsibilities for arranging paperwork and permits, arriving, shipping, and organization marketing. In this case, Belapel Skincare considers indirect export as a better option because it's more viable and safer option, which is one of the best that the company needs, right? Why? Because the company has been operating for 1 year, so it is very soon to do or to have this money to be responsible for all the paperwork and requirements, in addition to the fact that one mistake would be very costly and the company would not be able to pay that. So that's why the company choose an indirect expert as the best option. After that, we have the consideration to expert. Well, there are some aspects to be taken into account. The first one is the population, the language, well, the interview or the exchange of the correspondence will not give satisfactory result if it is not in the language of the importer, right? Then we have the invoice and important documentation to facilitate the entry and exit of the merchandise, the packaging, the package, the crating, the sanitary regulations, the permits, and of course the quality standards. Supply chain logistic. Well, the supply chain is the process from the time that the customer places an order until the product or service has been delivered and charged. There are three main stages that make up the supply chain. The first one is the procurement. It refers how, where, and when the raw material is obtained. Then we have the distribution, the production, and the distribution. In this case, as you can see, we have an image about the raw material, about the supply chains from Belapel Skincare. The first step is the raw material. There's the vitamin C is obtained in its purest grade, and it is purchased by one of our suppliers. Then we have the process, that is all the ingredients are mixed until have a homogeneous mixture. Then we have the packaging. The mixture is packaged in a dark glass. This is to protect the formula for the sun ray to don't oxidizing the formula. And it is refrigerated until delivery. And finally, we have the delivery. In the delivery step, well, Belapel Skincare has a point of sale in front of Walmart Felipe Pescador. Then the customers can go and to make a direct purchase.
Well, in the course of supply chain and cost of motor transport, there are 4 topics that are important. The first topic is causal structure. The causal structure is a methodology that allows identify and differentiating the variables involved that determine the operating cost of a transport company. In general, each company generates its own reference cost. Well, the costs are divided in 2. The one is fixed cost, that are the expenses that must be covered when there are no operations, and the variable cost that depends on the vehicles operating and must be considered based on the kilometers. In the case of the Belapel company, a break-even analysis was carried out, and in this aspect, it is evaluated in a percentage. It says that the 59% of the product must be sold, and each year the percentage is reduced. The table is in Mexican pesos. The logistic cost. The logistic costs in the motor transport are the expenses that are required to the process, the request, and organize the services. These do not generate value to the service, but they do generate additional expenses. Then we have the rate calculation. Well, the rate is determined by adding the fixed cost, variable cost, tons to be transported, the distance of the route, and the utility. Well, for the company Belapel, the following data will be taken in account. The variable cost, that is 0.8694 pesos per ton kilometer. Fixed cost, that is 310 pesos per ton. The distance of the route, that is 525 kilometers. Tons are 26, and profit is 15%. Well, first of all, the variable cost was multiplied by the distance of the route. Then the result was added to the amount of the fixed cost. Then the value obtained is the sum was multiplied by the number of tons. And finally, the corresponding utility was added that the previous result was multiplied by 1.15. And the result is 2,974.76. That is the minimum rate to transport 26 tons of the Belapel product. Well, then we have the fleet control systems. Belapel is a trading company and therefore there's not have a transport fleet because it is not directly dedicated to the distribution of their products. And if they want to do this, they will go to a transport company that will be in charge of providing this service. In conclusion, this project was very interesting for us because we had the opportunity to have the knowledge of topics that we don't really know. And also we have the opportunity to reverse the topics that we have the knowledge, that we already have the knowledge. And also we were allowed to apply of the marketing, distribution, and packaging course, and also the course of supply chain and cost of motor transport. We can apply this in a company that the name is Belapel, and we applied this to the vitamin C serum that is the star product of the brand.